Imagine what would happen if you completely removed sugar from your life, not just cutting back a little here and there, but really giving it up fully for 2 whole weeks. At first, it sounds impossible because sugar hides in so many foods, but the truth is that your body responds almost immediately in ways you may not expect. The first and most obvious change is that your constant desire for sweets starts to fade away. Normally, each time you eat sugar, your blood sugar jumps up quickly, then drops sharply when insulin rushes in to push that sugar into your cells. That drop leaves you feeling shaky, tired, and desperate for more sugar, which is why one cookie so often turns into three. But when you quit sugar completely, that roller coaster smooths out. Within just a few days, your blood sugar becomes steadier, your brain no longer screams for another piece of cake, and many seniors are surprised to realize they can pass by a candy dish without even thinking about it. That alone can feel like freedom. The second major change is something you notice in your appetite overall. Sugar doesn't just make you want sugar, it makes you hungrier in general. For many seniors, this shows up as constant snacking or feeling like meals never quite satisfy. The science behind it is simple. Too much sugar leads to insulin resistance, which means your cells start rejecting insulin as a way of protecting themselves from overload. The problem is that this also means your cells don't get the fuel they need, and your brain interprets that as hunger. So even after eating, you feel unsatisfied. When sugar is removed, insulin sensitivity begins to improve, and suddenly the body can actually use the nutrients from your meals properly. Seniors often notice that instead of needing to eat every couple of hours, they can go much longer without hunger pangs. It's a calmer, steadier rhythm of eating that feels entirely new. The third change that comes quickly is in energy and alertness. Many seniors assume that feeling tired after meals is just part of aging, but in reality it often comes from sugar. When you eat sugar, your blood sugar spikes, then drops, and that crash makes the brain sluggish. It's why people talk about afternoon fog or feeling sleepy after lunch. When you cut out sugar, those swings disappear. Meals leave you feeling nourished instead of drained. Seniors report that instead of dozing off in the chair after eating, they find themselves able to read, do puzzles, or have conversations without losing focus. It feels like the mind is clearer and sharper, as though someone turned the lights back on. That steady energy can be one of the most rewarding early results of giving up sugar, especially if you've spent years living with fatigue and blaming it on age. So even in just the first few days of quitting sugar, you begin to notice freedom from constant cravings, a gentler appetite that no longer rules your day, and a steadier, clearer kind of energy. These are the first signs that your body is finally breaking free from sugar's control, and they are only the beginning of what will come if you can stick with it for 2 full weeks. As you move further into your first week without sugar, something very visible begins to happen in your body, and that is the loss of excess water and fat. Sugar makes the body hold onto fluid, and for many seniors this shows up as swelling in the feet, puffiness in the face, or a general heaviness in the midsection. Within days of quitting sugar, the body starts flushing out this retained fluid. It is not unusual for someone to lose several pounds of water weight in the first week alone, and while the number on the scale is encouraging, what really matters is the relief you feel when that fluid no longer burdens your heart and circulation. After the water weight comes the gradual loss of fat, especially belly fat, which is one of the strongest signals of sugar overload. Many seniors are surprised to feel their waistline shrinking without even changing anything else, simply because removing sugar allows the body to burn stored fat more effectively. At the same time, your mood begins to shift in ways you may not expect. High sugar diets are strongly linked to irritability, stress, and emotional ups and downs, and many seniors live with the assumption that being grouchy or short-tempered is just a part of getting older. But once sugar is gone, the nervous system calms down. Without those constant blood sugar spikes and crashes, your brain chemistry becomes steadier, and the result is a calmer, lighter mood. Family members may comment that you seem easier to be around, more patient, less stressed, and even more cheerful. Along with this emotional balance comes an improvement in focus and memory. Seniors often describe feeling like a cloud has lifted, that they can concentrate on a book, follow a conversation, or work on a project without losing track. It is not magic, it is simply the brain finally receiving steady fuel instead of a chaotic flood of sugar. And as the days continue, even your skin begins to reveal the benefits of giving up sugar. Sugar fuels inflammation, and that inflammation often shows up right on the surface of your skin. It can look like redness, irritation, or even breakouts, and it can make the skin appear dull and tired. Within 2 weeks of quitting sugar, many seniors report clearer skin, a healthier glow, and an overall fresher appearance. Fine lines and sagging may not disappear overnight, but the underlying inflammation that accelerates aging begins to calm, and the difference is noticeable not only in the mirror but also in the way people respond to you. Compliments like "you look brighter" or "your face looks healthier" are very common. This outer change is simply a reflection of what is happening deeper inside, where blood vessels and tissues are experiencing less irritation and stress. So as your body moves through the first week and into the second, you begin to see not only the physical relief of losing water and fat, but also the emotional lift of a calmer mood, sharper mind, and clearer skin. These are powerful signals that life without sugar is not about restriction or loss, but about gaining back health, vitality, and confidence you may have thought was gone for good. By the time you reach the second week without sugar, the changes inside your body become even more meaningful. One of the most important shifts is in stiffness and inflammation. Sugar feeds inflammation everywhere, from your joints to your blood vessels, and seniors often feel this as aching knees, sore shoulders, or a general stiffness when standing up from a chair. Without sugar, the inflammation begins to ease, and suddenly daily movements feel smoother and less painful. Even the morning stiffness that many people accept as normal aging can start to fade, replaced by a flexibility you might not have felt in years. At the same time, the arteries themselves are experiencing less irritation, which lowers the long-term risk of clots, plaque buildup, strokes, and heart attacks. Each day without sugar is giving your circulation a chance to heal and work more efficiently. Deeper inside the body, the liver begins to change as well. For many seniors, a growing belly is more than just extra weight. It is a warning sign of fatty liver, a condition where sugar has been stored as fat inside this vital organ. Fatty liver makes it harder for the body to process toxins and puts heavy strain on your overall metabolism. Within 2 weeks of quitting sugar, the liver starts releasing this stored fat and begins cleaning itself out. Seniors often describe feeling lighter in the abdomen, less bloated, and sometimes even notice improved digestion. This process of healing the liver is slow, but the first 2 weeks can be the beginning of a dramatic turnaround in organ health. The kidneys also respond quickly to a sugar-free period. High blood sugar levels over time damage the delicate structures inside the kidneys, which is why diabetes is such a common cause of kidney problems. By lowering sugar intake sharply, the pressure on these organs decreases, allowing them to filter waste more efficiently. Seniors may not feel this change directly, but it shows up in more stable blood pressure, reduced swelling, and overall better fluid balance. Protecting the kidneys is one of the most valuable hidden benefits of reducing sugar, and 2 weeks is enough to start making a difference. And finally, perhaps the most inspiring change is what happens in the brain. When you cut sugar, your body switches from running on glucose to running on ketones, a clean fuel that actually supports the growth of new brain cells. Seniors often worry about memory loss and cognitive decline, but by giving up sugar, you give your brain a chance to repair, to grow stronger, and to remain sharper for longer. The clarity, the improved focus, and the uplift in mood are all signs of a healthier brain environment. So after 2 weeks without sugar, what do you really gain? You shed water and fat, you free yourself from constant hunger, you enjoy more steady energy, your mood and focus brighten, your skin clears, your joints and arteries calm, your liver and kidneys heal, and your brain begins to grow new strength. It is not simply about what you give up, but about what you get back: energy, comfort, confidence, and health. For seniors, these changes are not small. They are the difference between living weighed down by fatigue and pain, or living with clarity and strength. Every day without sugar is a day your body moves toward healing, and 2 weeks is just the beginning of a longer, healthier life.